Ali and George Foreman and Larry Holmes together. Of course, they brought in Ken Norton. I was never a fan of Ken Norton. I kept asking Harold Smith, why do you bring Ken Norton? Because he was a former heavyweight champion, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, and he beat Ali. Okay, but probably beat Ali twice. But the bottom line is, Ken was I was going to say a bad word. Ken was Ken was difficult in Sacramento, California. He's calling Ali a retard. Yeah, imagine how that's going. You imagine how that's going across with me? He goes, "Hey man," doing that to Ali. And I said, so after he did it about 2 or 3 times, I stepped in. I was ready to make a move. I put my hand up to call security, and Ali says to me, he steps in. And Ali realized what was going on. I was about to make a move on Ken. Okay, and Ali stepped in and said, "You know what, champ? If you're worried about that third fight, if you're thinking about that third fight still, you might have got the better of it that night." Okay, and that sort of ended the conversation. Ken Norton started crying. George Foreman laughed at him. Straight up, this is Ring Talk Live Worldwide.
Do you need to sell your home? If you've sold a home before, you remember how stressful and expensive it was. Sold.com is here to help you sell your home for the most money and with the least amount of stress. There are new ways to sell your home that you've never heard of before. Did you know there are companies who'll offer you cash for your home? Did you know you could trade in your home for a new one? Did you know there are realtors who'll sell your home for a flat fee instead of an expensive commission? It's true. Sold.com services are free. So if you're looking to sell, make this free phone call right now and learn how your next home sale can be faster and easier than you ever thought possible. Pick up your cell phone and call right now. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. That's 800-251-7816. It's time for you to come to Branson, Missouri for the trip of a lifetime. Located right in the middle of the country. You can drive or fly there. We put together a deal of a lifetime for you to experience Branson. Right now, you can get a 3-day, 2-night package for only $79 total. We're even including 4 free Branson show tickets. Call the special Branson hotline number right now to learn more. 800-497-7198. 800-497-7198. If you've never been to Branson, Missouri, come visit and see what we have to offer. Beautiful lakes, casual and upscale restaurants, tons of shows and activities for everyone. And for $79 total, you can't beat it. So pick up your phone right now and call the Branson Travel Hotline. Claim your 3-day, 2-night package plus 4 free show tickets for only $79 total. Call now. 800-497-7198. That's 800-497-7198.
Do you have diabetes? I'm sure you've seen the television commercials on the new CGM devices from all the top brands and how well they can help you manage your diabetes. Do you have the latest and newest in diabetes technology? The Diabetes Solutions Center carries most of the top brands, and the great news is your insurance may cover most of the cost. Call our special CGM hotline today, and our friendly representatives will help see if you qualify. You could get a new CGM from the top brands at little or no cost to you. Make living with diabetes easier. You are just one free phone call away to learn if your insurance covers the cost. So make this free call today to the Diabetes Solutions Center and learn for free how to get your new continuous glucose monitor.
800-659-7997. 800-659-7997. 800-659-7997. That's 800-659-7997.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
Be showing a little spring in his step even after that pounding. We're going to send you up inside the ring right now with Pedro Fernandez and the victorious George Foreman, win number 61. How do you feel, George?
Feel really good. It gets kind of boring after a while. All these guys get in the ring with you and they ask for so much money and all they do is run from you. That's a photo of what you're going to look for in the future. Mike Tyson running from George Foreman in that same fashion. I guarantee you, if Mike Tyson does not run from me in that same fashion, I'll eat my hat.
You'll eat your hat.
Yeah.
What about Tyrell Biggs? They talk about you fighting him. They said there'll be an offer on the table for that fight.
Yeah, I think I like that fight. Tyrell Biggs, a wonderful fella, and in him, the people will get a chance to see another bigger man run. And all these fellas train to run, and it's a shame because people pay expensive tickets to see these fellas fight, and all they do is run.
So if we want to see a track meet, we'll go watch Carl Lewis.
That's right. I'm dissatisfied with these fellas fighting on television, running like jackrabbits. I want Mike Tyson, and I dare him. I tell him he better not run from me, because I'm getting tired of people running from me in the ring. Mike Tyson, Holyfield, you a bunch of bums. Stand up and be a man and fight a real fighter. That was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, good enough.
I mean it.
George, when will you fight again? When will you fight again?
I hope to be fighting again by the 1st of June. We want Tyson!
Well, the crowd yelling, "We want Tyson."
Come on,
George wants
we
Tyson.
want Tyson!
Right now, I want you. Let's go back to ULA at ringside.
1989. Wow, that was a long time ago, no doubt about that. Of course, it was May, I believe. Of course, Galveston, Texas. George Foreman and I getting together. Of course, George and I both had won the Golden Gloves, obviously in different years. But that's when he said to me, "You know, you and I are a good act together." I thought that was pretty cool. I thought it was one of the greatest compliments that's ever been paid to me by a boxer. I was just blown away by that. He goes, "Yeah, you and I are a good act together." He goes, "We both won the Golden Gloves." Well, he was telling people, we both won the Golden Gloves. And we didn't look like we won it in the same year. But the bottom line is, George was a good guy. And I really think that metamorphosis I talked about earlier, from being a thug to God, to the God thing, to God, it really was real. It just was. I mean, most guys I know that convert from alcoholism or being a brute or being a passhole with an A, that convert to religion are phonies. A lot of them are phonies. But George really grew into this role as being a preacher and wanted to do good things for people. I mean, he raised a lot of money down in the Houston area. Of course, and his foundation fed a lot of people. I mean, George was just, I couldn't believe that he went from such a creep to such a good guy. That's the hardest thing in the world to ever explain to anybody. It just is. Anyway, let's go to some boxing odds. Of course, Fabio Wardley, and these heavyweights are going to hook it up. Fabio Wardley and Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker, pretty good-looking heavyweight. A minus 600 favorite over Fabio Wardley. Wardley, I think, is undefeated or lost one fight. Parker's a good fighter, no doubt about that. But looking at some of the upcoming fights, of course, Oshaki Foster, that's a minus 110 favorite because Stephen Fulton's a plus 100 underdog, so that's a real close fight. Frank Martin and Rancis Bartholomew. Frank Martin a minus 950 favorite, like a 9-1 favorite. Of course, some of the upcoming fights. I'm big on the 22nd November. You guys know that. I mean, I'm really high on my man. I'm talking about the greatest fighter pound for pound in the world right now. He's an 11-1 favorite over Anthony Yarde. I'm talking about David Benavidez. On the same card, Devin Haney, not my favorite fighter in the entire world. He's a plus 104 underdog to Brian Norman Jr. Brian Norman Jr. a minus 130 favorite. I'm hoping Brian Norman can wipe the canvas with this guy. I never want to see Devin Haney ever fight again. Let me tell you, I don't want to wish bad things on anybody, but if Devin Haney slipped on a banana peel and can never fight again, I wouldn't feel bad. Slip on a banana peel. Anyway, Jesse Rodriguez, Bam Rodriguez, of course, he's going on the November 22nd too. I believe he's going here in the States. Is he on that card over there? Yeah, he's on that card over there in Saudi Arabia as well. Fernando Daniel Martinez is a plus 560 underdog, and Jesse Rodriguez a minus 1,000, 10-1 favorite. Of course, Abdullah Mason, a minus 600 favorite, 6-1 favorite over Sam Noakes, and Artur Beterbiev, the former light heavyweight champion, a minus 30-1 favorite over Dion Nicholson. Of course, November 22nd, 1,100. If you want to bet money on David Benavidez, you got to bet 1,100 to win $1. Come on, man, that's not cool. See, the bets aren't even close anymore. Back in the day, you know, when bets went down in Las Vegas, if a guy was a 4-1 favorite, you got 3-1 the other way. What I mean by that is, in other words, if a guy was a 4-1 favorite, in other words, and you wanted to bet it the other way, you got almost the same. Okay, that doesn't happen anymore. I mean, come on, a 10-1 favorite, and the other guy's like. The other guy's paying 5. The other guy's paying half of what he usually pay. Las Vegas changed. Las Vegas went corporate. When Las Vegas went corporate, a lot of things changed. The bookmakers changed because the small books in downtown Las Vegas were just wiped out. Leroy Sportsbook, one of them to be without a doubt one of the greatest sports books I think was ever in the history of Las Vegas. But Leroy Sportsbook, it went out of business. Corporate America bought them up. Now corporate America owns all of Las Vegas. I don't know if I told you this, but I've been going to Vegas off and on since 1980. Okay, I always got free parking, and Dennis Lawler's here. I always got free parking and 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 you got to sit by the pool for free, this and that, and you got a lounge chair for free and things like that. And they didn't surge price. You get this. I bought a water. I don't do this often, but I bought some water in a plastic bottle. I don't believe in plastic. But I was drinking water out of a plastic bottle one day at the MGM Grand, and I went back later that night to buy the same bottle of water, and it was 84 cents more. And I said, "What the puck is going on here?" I said, "What the puck?" P. Anyway, and they said, "Oh, this surge pricing." I said, "What do you mean it's surge pricing?" Well, we charge different prices at different times of the day. Well, Las Vegas charges that. They charge for parking. They charge resort fees. Listen, this resort fee type of thing, you book a room and it says like $72, right? And then you get there. I said to myself, "What a great deal this is." And then it says total. The total costs $72. Then you get there and they add these resort fees. I said, you got to pay $45 or $50 a night on resort fees. So you're paying $45 on a night on resort fees. You're paying $25 a day to park. And if you decide to take your car to another casino, like you want to visit somebody, you got to pay for parking there. So you're paying for I'm serious. So Las Vegas is like sucking people dry. That's why the reason why Las Vegas is empty. That and the fact there's so many homeless people down there. Of course, the streets are terrible. More tents in Las Vegas than there are casinos. Without a doubt, more tents in Las Vegas, okay? But when you look at the entire picture, you say to yourself, man, this was a place one point in time, I lived down there. I had a great run, no doubt about it. But then Las Vegas ain't what it used to be. I mean, it just isn't what it was to be, okay? Corporate America has taken over. Dennis Lawler is going to sit down. He'll join us at 40 minutes past the hour. This is Ring Talk Live Worldwide, your inside look at the world of boxing and MMA. Now, the big fight I'm looking forward to in 2000. Let me get rid of December 1st. December 7th, Lamont Roach. Remember Lamont Roach? He fought Gervonta Davis the last time out. Gervonta Davis took a knee in that fight and then stuck his head outside the ropes. In other words, he should have been either disqualified or taken a point away. The referee did neither. And then, of course, fight ended up being a draw. So Lamont Roach should have won. But Lamont Roach is trained by the same guy, promoted by the same people that Gervonta Davis is promoted by, so they didn't want to rock the boat. Had Lamont Roach been a free agent per se, he'd have made it say, you know what, I want to sue these people. I want to sue the New York State Athletic Commission because this is on film. This is on TV. I mean, you can't deny it. It's on videotape. And what can you say? It didn't happen? You can't say it didn't happen. It's right there on tape. But the bottom line is Lamont Roach, because he was connected with these PBC people, he couldn't sue. He couldn't sue PBC and he couldn't sue the Athletic Commission because they told him, man, just shut up, man. We'll get you another fight. So they got him a fight with Isaac Pitbull Cruz. And although he's a slight favorite, minus 240 favorite, Lamont's not in for an easy night. Isaac Cruz can rock and roll. Of course, he's a guy I thought he lost to what was that guy's name? And I went down and saw the Benavidez Morrell card in February. And of course, they were supposed to have a rematch. I bet on the rematch, and the rematch never took place. But now Isaac Pitbull Cruz is going to go December 7th against Lamont Roach, and that should be a hell of a fight. But, Lamont Roach is the negative part on Lamont is he can't punch. And when you go into a fight and you can't punch, you're in a bit of a trouble. Of course, it's a big fight coming up December the 31st. Wow. The aforementioned Moses Atama taking on Flip Horowitz. Flip is a plus 550 underdog. Of course, Flip's a decent fighter as a heavyweight, but Moses is considered the future of boxing as far as the heavyweights are concerned. He's left-handed. He can stop. He's tall. He can fight. He can crack. There's no doubt about it. I think he's like 13-0 with 12 knockouts, something like that. The guy's for real. Of course, they're talking about him maybe fighting either Flip Horowitz or Zhil Zhang. Now, Zhil Zhang was that Chinese guy that, of course, they at one point in time could fight, but then again, he got fat, much like the slow and Samoan. Remember David Tua? David Tua was a bad dude until he gained that weight. He gained 15 pounds. He became the slow and Samoan. At one point in time, he was a throwing Samoan, became the slow and Samoan after that point in time, and from that point after, he was just an opponent. Okay? Some of the other fights going down December the 31st, of course. I'll take that back. All these fights, okay, the Flip fight is not done. All these fights are possible fights with Moses Atama. Flip is a plus 550, so minus. Wow. Moses a 10-1 favorite there, a 8-1 favorite of Zhang, a 6-1 favorite of Abbott Cabral. He is a minus 340 favorite against Joseph Parker. He is a minus 265 favorite against David Adelaide. Of course, man, I'm looking at Daniel Dubois. He's a minus 305. Bottom line is he beats anybody right now. I think he's the best heavyweight in the world. I really do. I think that he's got youth, he's got style, he's got punch, and guess what? He's got desire as well. Of course, Canelo Alvarez, talk about him coming back in probably May. Good Lord, why does he want to come back? I mean, why would we want to see him again? We've seen enough of Canelo Alvarez. It's sort of like watching a car wreck, a bad car wreck, something you don't want to see again. I don't want to see it again. And Canelo's got doing the same act for the last 3.5, 4 years. He wouldn't fight David Benavidez. He totally ran away from David Benavidez for not 3.5, almost 4 years. Of course, didn't want to fight him. Now he fought at welterweight, moving up weight, got licked like a stamp, lost almost every round that Terrence Crawford tried to win. There's no doubt about that. I thought the only rounds that Terrence Crawford lost were the rounds in which he took it easy. At the end of the night, Canelo, with his 3 left feet, just showed that he wasn't much. Okay, he just wasn't much. But he's supposed to be the face of boxing. It's either him, come on, or Jake Paul. You got to be kidding.